Rachel Holt for NESN.com here with Nolan Carroll, cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
How are you enjoying the craziness that is Radio Row so far?
It's definitely different. It's my first time being here. The Super Bowl is kind of something I kind of stay away from. If we're not in it, I tend to not go to these things. So it's my first year, but I'm really enjoying it right now.
Okay, so last year with the Philadelphia Eagles, you guys had an up and down year, a new quarterback, finished 7-9. What was that year like for you?
Yeah, it was weird. We started 3-0. We were hot. We were feeling good, and then we had the early bye week, and then after the bye week, it kind of just everything seemed like every single week it was this thing or that thing. We couldn't really put it together week to week to be consistent to win games, and there was a lot of lessons that we learned that year. And 7-9, everybody looks at it, and people kind of expected that. We didn't really expect it. Our goals and aspirations were actually higher. We wanted to go to the playoffs. We felt like we had the team to go to the playoffs. It's just it didn't work out that way, but the experiences that we all went through as a team last year, I think that'll help us out for the future.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to about the upcoming year?
For me, really, I feel like from all the experiences that we went through last year as a team, through all the downs, all just the crazy experiences we had, I just feel like the next time those experiences come up, we'll all look at each other and just know, hey, we've been through this before. We're calm under pressure, and let's just go out and just execute. And I don't think we didn't do a good enough job of doing that last year because we were so young. But experience is the best lesson for anything. And I think the amount of young guys we had, it helped us out because they'll know for next year what to expect and what to do.
You mentioned that experience. A team that has some experience in this game is the New England Patriots. Now they're going against the Atlanta Falcons. I asked you before we started, and I wanted to know who you picked in this one. You said I wasn't going to like your answer, so I kind of know which way you're leaning.
I have to pick the Falcons, and as actually a two-part explanation. For one, I played with the Miami Dolphins for 4 years, so I'm very familiar with the Patriots, and I'm very familiar with how they beat us a bunch of times. I think I only beat them maybe once or twice, I think, in my 4 years I was there. In Atlanta, we played against them this past season, and just seeing them firsthand and how they operate and how well they played against everybody else. They were averaging, I think, 31 points a game throughout the season. But when they played us, I think they averaged 23 points. But, I just felt like they were the most complete team that we had played through the whole season because, for one, they just have so many weapons on offense, and their defense is just as good, and they have so many young guys that are playing at a high level. So I feel like they'll be able to match that Patriot offense because the Patriot offense is what gets that team moving. So if you can kind of slow them down a little bit and let the Atlanta offense kind of execute, it's going to be it'll be in Atlanta's favor.
Talking about that Atlanta offense, you're a cornerback. Mm-hmm. How do you cover a guy like Julio Jones?
Oh, I tell you what, it was tough when we played him. I had no help, so I had to just have to hold down the fort. He's going to get the ball. It's just about not letting him get those explosive plays, which we really were able to kind of eliminate a little bit. He got his yards, but we didn't let him get any touchdowns. We didn't let him try and change the game for us. We got after Matt Ryan a little bit. We wanted him to really try and take Julio away as his first read and go to somebody else, which we were able to do. And like I said, try and hold him under 30 points, which we were also able to do. And the end result was a win for us. So that's a recipe for success. If you can kind of get at Matt, his nickname is Matty Ice, but if you can kind of rattle him a little bit, you have a better chance of winning that game.
And Nolan, you've been busy this offseason. Yeah. I want to first ask you, you're in contract talks. What's the latest on that, and what's your status?
Well, right now, actually, after I'm done with all this, I'm going to go and talk with my agent and find out everything. But, I'm not really dealing with all that. My agent is the one that has been dealing with all that. I'm just kind of trying to enjoy the moments that I have now in the offseason, enjoy this and, go back home to my house in Florida and enjoy that, so that's all I'm really doing. I don't want to concentrate on that too much. This is my third time going through contract talk, so
you've been there.
Yeah, so I know what to expect. So I'm just trying to relax as much as I can.
Well, you've been relaxing, but you've also been doing some good for the community. Tell me about your foundation.
Yeah, my foundation's really been focused on education and just overall health and wellness for our youth, our young kids. And it really started small. It started in my neighborhood in Greek Home Springs, Florida. I just felt like I wanted to give back to my neighborhood because that's where I grew up. That's where I'm from. That's what made me to the person I am today. And it just ended up getting larger and larger. And now my focus, I want to just, not only my hometown, but basically everywhere in the United States, really just focus on, getting your education. Nowadays, kids just see the limelight of athletes, and they just feel like I'm automatically just going to go to the league, in whatever time it might be. But they don't know that it's a small percentage of people actually make it to become a professional athlete. I was blessed to be one, but if I wasn't a professional athlete, I at least got my education. And that's one thing I want to emphasize to our young kids, to say, hey, look, always trying to just have something in your back pocket just in case, because the chances of you actually becoming a professional athlete is slim to none. So just in case it doesn't work out, at least you have something to fall back on, and you're not spending a lot of time in your life trying to figure out what you want to do. At least you have somewhat of an idea. And also getting them to go outside and be active. I don't think nowadays is everything is technology based, that kids kind of just sit down and just don't go anywhere. They don't want to be active. And I know me growing up, if I was doing that for more than an hour, my mom would turn everything off and force me to go outside. So I just want kids to be more aware of being fit and being healthy, and not just as their kids, but when they grow up, continue those same habits, and learn how to be active and live a healthy lifestyle. So that's what my foundation is doing.
A great message, and we don't blame those kids for trying to be. You have a pretty cool job, my friend.
I appreciate
Good luck
it.
this offseason.
Thank you.